Hello, everyone. Today, we will continue our discussion on the obligations of the vendor, particularly on the delivery of the things sold. Sa isang contract of sale, hindi sapat na magkasundo ang buyer at seller o ang mabayaran ang presyo ng binibenta. Ang ownership ay hindi pa lumilipat sa buyer hanggat wala pang nangyayaring delivery. Pero paano nga ba nangyayari ang delivery? Okay? So in this discussion, we will explore ang iba't ibang paraan ng delivery ayon kay Article 1497 to 1501, and then kung kailan ba lumilipat ang ownership sa buyer, and mag-discuss din tayo ng mga sample cases para sa mas malinaw na application ng batas. And in the later part, we will be having a practice questions para matest ang understanding nyo. Okay? So, ano pa ba hinihintay natin? Simulan na natin. So, Article 1497 to 1501 explain the different ways a seller can deliver the things sold. Hindi lang sa pamamagitan ng aktual na pag-abot, kundi pati na rin sa iba't iba pang mga legal na paraan ng pagbibigay ng possession sa buyer. Okay? So, tingnan nyo to. Okay? Etong summary ng 1497 to 1501. Ito yung tatalakayin natin each one by one, okay? So let's go through these provisions one by one with simple explanations and examples, of course, using pogi, ganda, and beauty. So, Article 1497, actual or physical delivery. The thing sold shall be understood as delivered when it is placed in the control and possession of the vendee. Ang bagay na ibinibenta ay itinuturing na na-deliver na kapag ito ay naibigay na sa buyer at nasa kanyang control at possession na. Okay? So, Article 1497 actually speaks of real or actual delivery. Tandaan nyo lang, when the thing is placed in the control and possession of the vendee. Okay? So, eto ang pinaka-common at simplest form of delivery, okay? Yung actual na pag-abot ng bagay sa buyer mismo. Kapag naibigay na ng physically ang isang bagay sa buyer, ito ay tinuturing na delivered na, okay? Ibig sabihin, nasa ilalim niya na or nasa ilalim na ng control at possession ng buyer ang bagay na binili niya. Meaning, it is now already at her or his disposal. And once nasa kamay na ng buyer ang item, automatic na lumipat na ang ownership. Okay? So, example. Si Pogi ay nagbenta ng dog food kay Ganda para sa kanyang German Shepherd dog named Kai. So, pagkabigay ng dog food kay Ganda, automatic na na-deliver na ito sa kanya at siya na ang may-ari ng dog food na yon. It's as simple as that, okay? So, wag na i-complicate. Let's proceed with Article 1498, constructive delivery naman tayo, okay? When the sale is made through a public instrument, the execution thereof shall be equivalent to the delivery of the thing which is the object of the contract. If from the deed the contrary does not appear or cannot clearly be inferred. With regard to movable property, its delivery may also be made by the delivery of the keys of the place or depository where it is stored or kept. So, kapag ang sale ay nasa isang public instrument, ito ay katumbas na ng delivery, maliban kung may nakasaad na iba doon sa document na yun mismo, okay? And ang mga movable property ay maaaring mai-deliver sa pamamagitan ng pagbigay ng susi ng lugar kung saan ito nakatago. Yun yung sinasabi ni Article 1498. Okay? So this provision gives us two valid forms of constructive delivery. First is yung delivery through a public instrument. Kapag may notarized deed of sale or legal document na naglilipat ng ownership, automatic na considered as delivered ang property kahit wala pang actual handover. Okay? Now, applicable ito lalo na sa mga real estate properties. Then the second scenario is yung delivery of movable property via yung mga keys or mga access. Meaning, para sa mga movable properties like kotse or anumang kagamitan yan, sapat na ang pagbigay ng susi or access para maging valid ang delivery. Hindi na kailangan ng physical handover kung may clear proof na lumipat ang control ng item. Okay? So, let's take an example. First, dito sa public instrument, if si Pogi binenta niya ang kanyang vacant lot to Ganda, pinirmahan nila ang notarized deed of sale pero kahit hindi pa napupuntahan ni Ganda ang lupa. Kahit ganun yung sitwasyon, delivered na ang lupa kasi nagkaroon na sila ng deed of absolute sale which is actually notarized na mismo, di ba? Which is nagsisilbing delivery. Now, let's proceed with the second scenario, yung delivery of movable property. So, if halimbawa, si Beauty, binenta niya ang kanyang van kay Pogi. So, hindi pa ito nadadala ni Pogi dahil nasa garahe pa, halimbawa. Pero binigay na ni Beauty ang susi at ORCR kay Pogi. So, ano ang resulta? Delivered na ito kahit hindi pa physically na iuuwi ni Pogi. Okay? So, again, that's Article 1498. Let's proceed with Article 1499. So, ito naman yung delivery through symbolic transfer or traditio symbolica. Now, the delivery of movable property may likewise be made by the mere consent or agreement of the contracting parties. If the thing sold cannot be transferred to the possession of the vendee at the time of the sale, or if the latter already had it in his possession for any other reason. So, si Article 1499 discusses situations where yung physical delivery of a movable property isn't feasible or necessary. Okay? Dito, ang ownership ay pwedeng lumipat sa buyer kahit walang actual na pag-abot ng item basta't may kasunduan o consent ang parehong partido. Okay? Meron itong dalawang scenarios. First, if yung item cannot be transferred at this time of sale. Kapag ang binibentang bagay ay hindi maihahatid agad sa buyer, pwedeng magkasundo ang seller at ang buyer na ang ownership ay lilipat na kahit wala pang physical delivery. Okay? So, nasa kanilang agreement, kumbaga. Diba? By mere consent or agreement of the contracting parties. So, pwede na yun. Now, sa second scenario is if yung buyer already is in possession na, okay? Kung ang buyer ay nasa possession na ng binibentang bagay bago pa man ang sale. Halimbawa, hiniram niya na ito or meron na silang yung agreement ng sale ay sapat na para lumipat ang ownership ng walang additional delivery. So, example, sale without immediate transfer ito. If si Pogi, binenta niya ang kanyang antique watch to Ganda. However, the watch is currently on display in a museum exhibit, okay? And it won't be available for another month. So, they agree that ownership transfers to Ganda upon signing off the contract, even though she won't physically receive the watch until later pag nakuha na ito sa museum exhibit. Okay? So, ang result na ownership passes to Ganda upon their agreement kahit wala pang physical delivery. Now, another scenario. If si Ganda nanghiram ng libro kang Beauty. Now later, etong si Beauty, nag-decide siya na ibenta na lang kay Ganda yung libro na yon. So, since Ganda already possesses the book, yung libro mismo na hiniram niya, then their agreement on the sale transfers ownership to her without any further delivery na. Okay? So, yun nga yung result. Si Ganda, she becomes the owner upon their agreement with no need for additional delivery. So, yun yung tradisyo symbolica or delivery through symbolic transfer. Now, let's proceed with Article 1500. Quasi-tradition or delivery by mere consent. Ito. There may also be tradition constitutum possessorium and tradition brevi mano. So, ibig sabihin, maaaring ding magkaroon ng delivery sa pamamagitan ng tradition constitutum possessorium and tradition brevi mano. So, explanation. Una, etong sa tradisyo brevi mano, delivery by shorthand. Kumbaga, nangyayari ito kapag ang buyer ay nasa possession na ng item bago pa ito bilhin. So, no need for another physical delivery. Example, if si Pogi pinahiram ni Ganda ng kanyang dog crate para kay Kai, after a week, nag-decide si Pogi na bilhin na ito. Then the result, wala nang kailangang delivery kasi hawak niya na ang item. So, ownership automatically transferred. Now, kay Traditio Constitutum Possessorium, owner becomes a lessee or depositary. So, magkabaliktad ha. Eto. Ang seller ay nagbenta ng item, pero patuloy pa rin niya itong ginagamit. Now, magiging lessee or custodian na lamang siya. Example, si Beauty, binenta niya ang kanyang lupa kay Ganda, pero nag-agree silang i-rent uli ni Beauty ang lupa for 6 months habang nagpapagawa siya ng bahay muna. Okay? So, kahit andun pa si Beauty sa lupa, si Ganda na ang legal owner. Okay? So, another example. If si Pogi, binenta ang kanyang van kay Ganda, pero inupahan niya ito pabalik ng isang buwan para magamit pa niya, that is Traditio Constitutum Possessorium. So, owner becomes lessee or depository. Now, let's proceed with Article 1501. Article 1501, delivery of incorporeal property or yung mga non-physical items. So, with respect to incorporeal property, the provisions of the first paragraph of Article 1498 shall govern. In any other case wherein said provisions are not applicable, the placing of the titles of ownership in possession of the vendee or reused by the vendee of his rights with the vendor consent shall be understood as delivery. Okay? So Article 1501 addresses the delivery of incorporeal property. Ang mga ari-ariang hindi physical tulad ng mga rights, mga shares, or yung mga intellectual property. Okay? So application of Article 1498, first paragraph daw ang sinasabi niya or first paragraph ng Article 1498. So, kung ang incorporeal property ay nailipat sa pamamagitan ng public instrument, so magkakaroon tayo ng notarized document, then ito ay itinuturing na delivered na. Now, merong alternative modes according kay 1501 din. Sabi kung hindi applicable yung public instrument, then yung pagbibigay ng mga titulo ng pagmamayari sa buyer or yung paggamit ng buyer ng kanyang mga karapatan sa property is also considered as delivery. Di ba? Nandiyan naman, the placing of the titles of ownership in the possession of the vendee. That is another alternative. And then the second alternative is yung used by the vendee of his rights with the vendor's consent. So, anyway, let's take an example. Pogi sells his trademark rights for a popular dog accessory brand Ganda. So, they sign an authorized deed of sale transferring the trademark's rights. So, ang resulta, si Ganda becomes the owner of the trademark upon the execution of that notarized deed. Okay? Walang physical na item na ibinigay pa. Yung execution mismo ng notarized deed. Okay? And then, meron some alternative scenario if yung transfer wasn't through a public instrument. Halimbawa, kung si Pog, hinand over niya yung certificate of trademark registration to Ganda. Or hindi kaya, etong si Ganda, nag-start na siyang gamitin yung trademark in commerce with Pogi's consent. Okay? So, yung result na, nagkaroon na ng delivery and transferring ownership of the incorporeal property to Ganda na. Okay, so proceed na tayo. Tapos na tayo sa explanations. Now, let's have some illustrative cases on delivery. Number 1, eto. Si Pogi, nagbenta siya ng kanyang guitar to Ganda. Binayaran ni Ganda ng buo, pero nasa music shop pa ang gitara for repair, kaya walang delivery. Bago ito may deliver, si Beauty, okay, yung creditor ni Pogi, third person, inattach niya yung guitar. Now, question, may karapatan ba si Ganda sa gitara? Second, pwede ba niyang labanan si Beauty? The answer? No, wala pang delivery, wala pang ownership. Beauty can attach the guitar. And Ganda can only claim damages from Pogi. Okay? Now, eto, number 2. Halimbawa, si Ganda bumili ng doghouse para kay Kai. Bumili siya ng doghouse from Beauty. Nilagay na ito sa delivery truck. Pero si Ganda ay umalis sandali para kunin ang bayad. Dumating si Pogi at sinabing siya ang may-ari ng doghouse, dala ang isang signed document. Sino ang tunay na owner ng doghouse? Si Kai. Joke. Of course, the answer is si Beauty pa rin. Kasi walang full payment o proper delivery. O kaya wala ring transfer of ownership either kay Ganda or kay Pogi. Okay? Now, eto. Another scenario. If si Beauty, binenta niya ang kanyang farm to Pogi at ibinigay niya ang title, pero hindi pa na-turn over ang mismong lupa. Kasi meron pang nagfa-farm sa lupang iyon as of now. The answer, kanino na ang farm? I mean, yung question, kanino na yung farm? The answer, kay Pogi na ayon nga, di ba, sa discussions, pag naibigay na ang titulo, sapat na para makonsider itong delivered and it is consistent with the case of Tablandi versus Aquino. Now, another scenario. Etong si Pogi, binenta niya ang kanyang agricultural land to Ganda gamit ang public instrument. Pero hindi niya naibigay ang mga tanim sa lupa. Okay? Hindi nakasaad doon sa public instrument kung ano mangyayari sa mga tanim, mga crops, palay or gulay, ano ba kaya yun? Okay? So questions, may-ari na ba si Ganda ng lahat kasama ang mga tanim? Answer, hindi pa. Sa ruling ng Gonzales versus Joveres, kailangan pa rin ng actual delivery ng crops. Okay? Take note of that. Now, eto, another scenario. If si Beauty, binenta niya ang kanyang sasakyan kay Pogi, nag-agree silang iwan muna ang kotse kay Ganda, a third-party depository, until si Pogi ay ma-fully paid na. Now, 5 days later, nasunog ang garahe ni Ganda kasama ang kotse na binili ni Pogi. So, kailangan ba bang bayaran ni Pogi ang kotse? The answer? Yes, dahil nagkaroon na ng delivery to Ganda, which is counts as delivery to Pogi. Kaya Pogi bears the risk of loss. Now, that's it. Let's have a practice questions for you. Eto, flash ko na lang. Try nyo sagutin, okay? Sagutin nyo to. Pwede naman sa comment sections or sa inyo na lang. Tapos, sasagutin ko to on my next video uploads, okay? So, for now, ano na ba? Sana ay naging malinaw ang discussion. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell para updated kayo sa susunod nating legal discussions, okay? Thank you and see you next time. Bye-bye!